A very good morning to one and all. Do begin welcome all the attendees and our prestigious speakers on the behalf of lovely professional university for today's webinar on the topic Demystifying Data Science Careers. So attendees today, you'll savor a feast of knowledge from our revered speakers. So allow me to introduce them. Professor Anand, Deputy Dean, Head, Department of Training and Placement, lovely professional university, a dynamic professional with a demonstrated history of working in the education management industry. His expertise lies in the area of cloud computing, process automation, mobile application development, student skill development, planner, programming, lecturing, and curriculum development. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. I will also welcome our industry expert, Mr. Naveen Jain, CEO, founder, Transorg Analytics, a vigilant and a zestful leader with an experience of more than 25 years in analytics, product development and operations. With an engineering degree from Delhi College of Engineering and MBA from IIT Ghaziabad, Mr. Naveen has also worked as Vice President at American Express, where he led a 100-member marketing analytics team covering over more than 20 international markets. He has a diverse experience across functions and geographies, including marketing, analytics, and campaign management operations, finance and accounting operations, business transformation and consulting, business and product development, merchant banking, and corporate advisory. So, sir, it's a privilege to have you on board with us today. Thank you so much for joining. I would also like to welcome our admission expert, Mr. Chirag Sharma, Assistant Professor, lovely professional university. Having 10 years of experience as an academician, he has specialization in image processing with 45 research papers in international journals. So attendees today will give you an insight of eligibility, fee and scholarship, which I'm sure will make you save a lot of money. And in addition to that, we'll also be discussing about the infrastructure part of the university. So thank you, sir, for joining us today. And with this, we'll begin today's webinar. So over to you, Professor Sanya Anand, for the content of the day.
Thank you, Ruby. Thank you for the warm welcome to all and the introduction of all the panel members. So when we are talking about a topic which is very, very relevant in today's world, I would say, we want to, understand how the data science careers are there and how they are going to be there in 3 to 4 years from now. So what is going to be the scenario in 2025? What is going to be the scenario a few years after that? Now, why it is important to understand this, why we need to demystify and understand the careers that are there, and what are the, I would say, notions which are there catered around, which needs to be clarified for the students. A very important thing when it comes to deciding a career is to understand about what is the technology, how it is going to span, what is going to be lifespan of that technology. When I talk about the lifespan, which is the most important part, so if I talk about a programming language, that was there in late 90s, COBOL, Fortran, most of you would have not even know or would not even heard about that name. You would be knowing about Python, you would be knowing about C++, which are the languages that we use today. So programming as a concept is a lifespan which will span over multiple centuries, because programming will stay. The languages might change. In the same way, data science will stay. Tools might change, because what we are doing today is we are generating huge amount of data every day. With this data, just generation is nothing that is going to happen. Now, if you looked at a very latest news that came up, and most of the youngsters would know, Netflix. So Netflix had a less number of users that it happened over last 20 years, and then a lot of share market tumble happened for the Netflix shares. So to understand how they decide that the numbers have changed, how it impacts the business, how it impacts the employees working for Netflix and the overall ecosystem of the OTT. Similarly, in every field, in every technology that you're, or every social media interaction that you're doing, you're generating tons of data. And this data is how the companies work with. So we need to understand that if so much data is generated, if so much data is being analyzed, and then decisions are being made, how it is going to happen that when you be a part of that particular revolution next 3 to 4 years, what are the things that you need to know? What are the technologies you need to be aware of? What are the tools that you need to be aware of? And how to plan your career in a data science arena. So this ecosystem is an ecosystem which is going to stay. You need to decide which role you need to play in this ecosystem. Now, why I'm saying this? Let me take you 4 years back from now. So we went to industry in 2019. We talked about what are the things and what are the pain areas where you need more manpower and more number of skilled students to be there. So one of the areas which kept coming up again and again was data science. So it was growing like anything. More and more number of skilled people were needed, and there were a lot of scarcity for that. Obviously, whenever the technology is there, the freshers would be, I would say, preferred, because a lot of experienced people will not be there. So you freshers will move in, will learn, will grow, and with the growing technology, you would also grow and have that experience. So freshers have a big role to play whenever a new technology comes into play. So you would be playing that role. And every time the same request came up from the industry. So we thought about, if there is so much requirement and if there's a skill which is dire need of the industry, why not to put it into the curriculum, and when the students pass out, they have that skill imbibed in them. That's where we went to transform, and we understood that how we can move the same things which you need as a student. When they come to you, you train them in the office for 1 year. How can we move into the curriculum? Because curriculum, we have a 3-year long window before you are eligible for going on an internship and working with a company. So why not split that 1 year content which you have, which rigorously in 1 year a student studies in that at the company, into a 3-year window into the curriculum itself. And that's where we came up with this program, that is BTech CSE, Data Science and Data Engineering with Transfer Analytics. And because Transfer Analytics name is associated, I need not to say anything extra, that what is the value of this program, what kind of content you will get, what kind of projects you will get to work on, what kind of case studies you will get and understand based on that, the decision making in data science, how it is done. So all of this becomes very, very inquisitive, and the kind of collaboration we have done and the kind of content that will be provided to the students during this would make them truly ready for the job roles in data science and data engineering domain. And to understand what is data science and data engineering, there is no other best person that I can think of from Naveen sir. So I have been in touch with him for the last 3 years, I would say, where we have been developing this program and bringing newness to this program. And the vision that he carries and the way he has worked up in the data science domain, there is no other person second to him in this entire I would say ecosystem of data science who can explain it better. So you have a very, very resourceful guest today who would be explaining you this, and I tell you, the way he explains, the way he will put it forward to you, no one else can. Over to you, sir. Thank you for giving out your time for the students.
So thank you, Professor Anand. Very appreciate your kind words. Can everybody see my screen, and can everybody see me?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Just wanted to check that. So Professor Anand has given a very good summary of the importance of data science and data engineering in today's times, and in fact the broader artificial intelligence area. So in next few slides, there will be an interactive session. I would want to keep time to answer your questions, but let me just give you an industry perspective. I've been into data science field for more than 15-16 years now. In fact, I started working in this area when not many people had heard about artificial intelligence, data science. So let me take you through very few slides. I've just very few slides here to share with you. Okay, so clearly there is a lot of thought among students and parents about careers in AI. People are thinking of getting into artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, data engineering. These are all interrelated stuff, and sometimes it is used interchangeably as well. So I'll talk about some of these areas. So now the world before data science, so like 10 years, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, data was the byproduct. So whatever you were doing, if some accounting was to be done on the ledgers, there was a lot of data generated. Even there were basic computers in 90s and at the turn of the century. So data was more like a byproduct and output. You would generate MIS or reports and certain data. But now, in the current time, data is a raw material. With passing time, the cost of computing has gone down so much, and the power and the processing speed of computers have gone up exponentially high. So a lot of data is being generated. Even if somebody is running a basic website, or tremendous amount of data is generated. And then, of course, there are businesses across different industry verticals, be it airline, hospitality, retail, e-commerce, technology company, manufacturing company. So data, which is of course still the byproduct of some of those processes, but it is the basic raw material to understand consumer behaviors, to understand what customer wants to buy, what should I sell to the customer. In case of banks, they would like to understand the risk and fraud in current times, like who would default on my loan, whom do I give the loan. So there are multiple usages of data, and data is actually more than the raw material, it is the fuel which can drive the growth of an organization. So this is a clip from Young Sheldon, and I don't know how many of you have seen this serial. So just wanted to put a thought here. So what are the, rather than mega trends, we call it meta trends. So world is moving towards code free. I have seen, in fact, in yesterday's or day before, I was reading in the newspaper that a lot of companies are moving from low code to even no code kind of an environment. In fact, when we do machine learning models and when we do data science, a lot of things have been already prefabricated. It's been created already. So you just need to know the application. The idea should be to understand the business issues, business opportunities, business challenges, and use that identification of the problem or definition of a problem and solve it with the help of data science. So it is not about companies or people. You no longer choose data science, it chooses you. It's extremely important. It's a horizontal skill. It has a very lucrative return on investment. And machine learning itself is learning. Let me use the point of machine learning itself is learning. Data centricity is questionable and paradigm switching. So machine learning, if you see, it's evolving very fast. Some impact. And when we used to work MIS or analysis with quite some data science and machine learning. It is not every 3, 4, 5 seconds. There's a new way to look at the data. Consumer behaviors are changing continuously. We had this black swan event of COVID, and consumer behaviors have permanently shifted. In fact, I was asking somebody that some of our machine learning models are not working. It's not working because consumer behaviors are fundamentally changed, and machine learning models or predictive models are based on the historical data, right? And the skill development is now just, it's going beyond classrooms, it's going beyond offices. There's a lot of content which is available on the internet. And what is unique about this program is that a university of LPU's caliber and Transsolve's experience has come together. So typically what we have seen, while colleges or universities are doing an exceptionally good job of teaching data science, but one area where there could be some improvement is in terms of involving the industry right in the beginning. Because we exactly as industry know what kind of skills we need for students when they pass out. And as soon as they pass out, they should be industry ready. And rather than spending 6 months or a year to train a person, industry would want students who come with that kind of a industry mindset and focus on solving real life business problems. So it's not I mean, while understanding the theory is important, it's understanding of some of the key languages like Python, R, or PySpark, and some of the mathematics is also very important, especially business mathematics and statistics. And then lastly, the business knowledge. So business knowledge is something which I have seen a lot of universities and colleges are not able to give a relevant perspective on the industry and the real use cases from the industry. And that's where we step in. So for instance, if we are working with an airline, what kind of challenges they are facing? If e-commerce site wants to enhance and improve their customer satisfaction, what is the kind of thing they need to do? If the companies need to improve their revenues or prevent customer attrition, what is that they need to do? And how can data science help them solve some of these burning problems? So, I mean, again, this is a concept of artificial narrow intelligence, general intelligence, super intelligence. So, right now we are in this, in current times, we are talking about machine learning, deep learning. See, deep learning, machine learning, these terms, I'm sure students are very well versed with some of these terms. There's so much of exposure, so much talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning. So right now the focus is that broader artificial intelligence field, machine learning, deep learning. And this is what is prevalent nowadays. There are multiple use cases on data science around artificial intelligence ML. But what is the future? I mean, that's where we have to see how this field will evolve. So what is the landscape of machine learning? I'll focus a little bit on machine learning concepts and really what is that you can learn. So machine learning, data science, all of these are interchangeable. Machine learning fundamentally has a lot of techniques, but ultimately you have to understand data science. Machine learning is a field where you're trying to generate insights from data. That is one way of one type of data science, where you're building predictive models. I can predict customer acquisition, I can predict cross-sell to a customer, I can predict loan defaults. Then there is a lot of data science which is used to recognize image, all this concept of self-driving cars, image recognition, video recognition, that uses some of the deep learning concepts. So there are multiple use cases around, and it's not just about the numbers, it's not just the numbers, the data. Even you have so much of unstructured text, unstructured documents or PDF documents. So machine learning algorithms and some of these algorithms can learn all of those documents and further embellish the information about the consumers or whatever you're trying to analyze. It can give you more additional information. It can give you additional information on the consumer behaviors or forecasting or whatever analysis you're trying to do. Well, we don't want to be the Vinod of machine learning. So let me just see, broadly speaking, you try to make sense through data. You would have heard about face recognition, object detection, and some of the security cameras or security companies where they have to enhance their security. Algorithms can recognize faces, and algorithms can recognize number plates of the cars. So companies are using some of those technologies to ensure that they can ensure security of the buildings. Text summarization, I talked about the PDF document. There's so much of information available on the web, social media. You can understand the sentiments of the customer. If the customers are leaving their feedback about the product, they would talk in multiple directions. So they will talk about, oh, this is not as good, this is a good product, this is high quality product, or I didn't have a good experience with this company. So all of these things are used to understand the customer sentiments. And then you can also identify the topics. What are the customers talking about? So you can do topic modeling around it. Then, which is on the, this is what sense making is. And guesstimates, of course, an informed guess, how much will this customer pay? What will be our sales tax next quarter? How much loan you are eligible for? So these are all things where you're trying to make guesses. And why we are using the word guesses? Because it can be at best 90% accurate, 95% accurate. And sometimes if the data richness is not there, then it would be about 80% accurate, 75% accurate. So you're trying to use statistics, mathematics, programming like Python to predict and make guesstimates, and these guesstimates are pretty good. I mean, if think of a CEO of a company or a business head of an organization, if they get some way to predict their sales for the next 6 months, or they can see, hey, these are my customers who are going to attrit. Can I take some actions to prevent attrition of those customers? If they have some sort of probability numbers and information with them, they can definitely ensure that those customers are not attrited, and they can, if the revenues going down, what kind of actions they can take to ensure that the revenue doesn't go down. And of course, it also helps you with prioritization. So for instance, I know that there are companies who are spending millions of dollars, millions of rupees on advertisements, on social media display ads. You see a lot of, whenever you go to internet or Google, you see a lot of ads. So can I prioritize some of my investments? What is good for me? What is bad? So can I prioritize? If I spend 100 rupees, how do I divide my 100 rupees so that I have maximum return on my investment, so that maximum people come and buy my product? It's a advertisement is a huge investment. And then of course there are generative kind of machine learning which is coming. You know, you can find out there are fakes and deep fakes, specifically in the art area. So the recommendations which can be done. So there are, it's a, one thing is for sure, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence is evolving. It's still, it is learning. It is in its nascent phase. While people would say, oh, machine learning has been there for 20 years, 25, 30, 40 years, whatever it is. But it's ever changing. And big tech companies are putting a lot of money, manpower, investment in this. From an education perspective, still there is a war for talent. Not many people are available to understand data science and machine learning. And that's why these kind of courses are getting a lot of relevance. Companies will benefit a lot from this. Then there is a context of automated machine learning. So it's all canned. That's what I said. The world is moving towards low code to no code environment. There will be automated machine learning. So machine learning, in fact, would be a skill in 10 years down the line that everybody would need to know. Like everybody knows Excel, MS Word, PowerPoint. At some point in time, it's not just the engineers like you or the budding engineers or people who are into higher, taken some professional courses. In fact, everybody would need to do data science. It touches everybody's life. Even if you're using Alexa at home, or you're using, you know, your Fire Sticks or whatever, all of those equipments are using artificial intelligence. So it's touching everybody's life. Everybody has to have an understanding of it. People ask me about what are the different roles in data science and machine learning. There are few variations, right? At a broader level, to talk about data engineering, which is very, very important, because data engineering means you have to get the data at one place, you have to stitch the data together, you have to make the data ready for data science, and that's a very important area. Not many skilled people are available in this area, and they're commanding very high compensation. In fact, the whole of data science, data engineering industry, average salary levels are much, much higher than regular engineering jobs or regular IT roles. So I'll talk about the different roles in data science. Again, this looks like a very busy slide, but the whole idea of what I was talking about, data engineering at the bottom, it's very, very fundamental to the success of a data science program. The role of data engineers is to get the data, ingest the data, do ETL jobs, extract, transform, and load, get the information together, stitch it together, and make it data science ready. And then once it is done, then data scientists take over. So before even data science, there are data analysts and storytellers. While data science just doesn't mean predictive models or machine learning models, it would be a lot of complex analysis. And you have to understand that companies and organizations are at different levels of maturity when it comes to data science. So you can start with simple analysis in Excel, or doing simple dashboards, and then slowly graduate them to more predictive models, machine learning models. It could be more advanced cases of UI and UX, artificial intelligence. And UI UX is also becoming important, because when you present your outputs, there has to be a consumption layer. You have created your insights, you have created your models, but the business teams, how would they consume it? So there has to be some UI and UX, IX designers who are just focused on the machine learning area. So all these skills are coming together pretty well, and so that they can play with that whatever the UI UX is, and they can extract the information as whatever they desire. And at the back end, there is a machine learning algorithm. And then there is an important thing of a machine learning engineer. That is, all of these predictive models analysis which we prepare, it has to be productionized. It has to be institutionalized, operationalized. So ML operations, machine learning operations is becoming extremely important. So there, I have met people who have who are multi-skilled and know about all the aspects. Then slowly they pick their area and go deep into it. So it has become a very uh, interesting area. There are ML ethicists, there are data lawyers, because it involves data science involves data, machine learning involves data. So how do we use the data ethically? The multiple careers are coming around this. This is really a really hot field at this point. Okay, tools. I mean, sorry, read it as 2022. I mean, while not much has changed from 21, but right now, uh, earlier that if you look at what is the kind of tools you need to require. So a lot of people say that, oh, it would require very high end level of programming. No, you would need to learn certain languages, understand it from a business perspective. So there's a moderate programming level which is required. If you want to be on the UX designer, ML ethicist, data lawyers, then no programming is required. That's more about understanding the usages of data and how can industry use ethically. But a little bit of more programming is required when you want to become a data engineer or machine learning engineer. Or I know that sometimes we help some product companies develop certain products which requires integrating machine learning codes into their product. So that would require a little bit higher level of programming. And then of course, if you're a research scholar and you're getting into the research area, then that will also mean that you have to get graduate to the higher level of programming. Okay. I mean, what would disappear soon would be the MIS reporting, non-ML visualization, non-ML analysis. So all of these roles will eventually be challenged and may disappear in the next 2 to 4 years, or maybe around 5 years, I would say. And then there could be different ways to acquire your skills. You can ultimately, the most important skill is your problem solving. When we recruit students, when we recruit people who pass out from their colleges, the one single skill which is extremely important is your problem solving. How are you approaching it? The critical thinking. So while if you see these light green boxes, all of these, how do you need to understand the mathematics behind it. You need to have a statistics experience, SQL, Excel, which are very old tools, still very important. So you need to know that. And then of course, if we look at these circles which are slightly bluish in color, then you talk about machine learning, Python, scikit-learn, PyTorch, TensorFlow. So there are multiple tools and techniques and methodologies which needs to be understood by the students. And if you look at the right side, then there's for the whole big data eco system which which students are required to be aware of. How does Spark works? Because in some cases we work with huge data sets, especially in the banks. Banks have huge amounts of data. Telecom companies have huge amount of data. So you have to work on big data technologies. Hadoop, use PySpark, Python Spark. So all of those things are required. So there are multiple skill sets, and you can pick up the way you want to move ahead. The green ones are the pure logic, and the blue ones are the entry barriers, but the red ones are the value adds. And like SAS and Stata and MATLAB and all, they are becoming more obsolete from a data science standpoint. Well, I would like to end this with this visual that it is not a magic, it's sort of hard work, it's talent, it's sweat you have to put in. And the most important thing is to be focused. And as I said, there are 3 important aspects of a good data scientist. One, your knowledge of the business, your knowledge and articulation of the client and industry's problem, your understanding of the mathematics and statistics, and the important concept is, of course, you need to understand the programming also behind it. So these 3 skills are extremely important for a very successful data scientist. How do I start learning? Well, any questions? We'll be happy to answer.
Thank you so
I
much,
think we can
sir, for
remove this.
sharing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you just stop me being the presenter so that I can see people and interact? Yeah. Okay. Professor Sami, would you like to add anything?
Being very honest, sir, the last line which you said, it's not magic, it's the hard work and the sweat. That is what it takes. And that is actually the truth that is there. And that's what every student needs to understand. It's not something that you take an admission into a program and it guarantees success. You would have to give in time, you would have to give in your hard work. That would ensure that success which you have dreamt of. Without hard work, there is no success. And this is something which every student needs to understand. You choose a program which is a path which makes things easier for you, because that's something which is defined and which is known and has been traveled by a lot of people. And then you work on your skills, work on yourself to get to that particular milestone or the particular success path that you have chosen. But given the part that student needs to work around, we have made it a lot easy for you. As sir said, what should be the way you start? The way you start is the program that we have kept in for you. That is the BTech CSC, Data Science and Data Engineering. And it has everything which sir talked about, which will give you all these clarities about which area you want to go into. Go into data science, go into data engineering. That's why both the names are there in the degree. It talks about the start, which is the entry into the data science arena with data engineering, and then where you learn, you move on, you develop that problem solving skill, you reach to that. We can have questions, Ruby, whichever the audience have asked.
Awesome.
Well summarized, Professor.
Okay, so yes, we have few queries from our attendees, so we'll take up those queries. So student name Shubhendru, he wants to know that what are the new different types of analytical tools for analyzing data are there today?
So this falls into your topic.
Yeah. So if you see from a tool perspective, Python is the most used tool. See, there are, I don't know if I have understood this question well, but there are new techniques which have come. So if you see, people have been using multiple kinds of techniques. Of course, historically, we have been using, if you see from a machine learning perspective, we have been using logistic regression or random forests, which are ensemble tree-based approach. But there are new techniques which are coming, which are used if we have less number of data points or less incidence of the variable which we are trying to predict. So there are new techniques which keep on coming in, even on the deep learning side. Of course, deep neural nets are becoming popular. Earlier, they were used more in the research area, but now there are more business uses which are coming. So people keep on coming up with new techniques and new way to do things. But if you ask me, the most important thing in any analytics project or data science project is creation of variables and data points and KPIs and features which you need to build, and which comes with your problem solving skill, your understanding of the business. But from a tool perspective, Python is very good. I mean, you just need to understand the Python. Of course, there are different Python libraries and different versions of it is available. So as when you join the course, I'm sure you would be exposed to all of them.
Thank you so much, sir. So we'll take up another question. The another question is from Megha. She wants to know specifically, Mr. Nivinjan, I would like you to answer this query of Megha. She wants to know that will Transorg provide internships to the students?
So we have some, I mean, of course, Professor Anand can share the details. So we do have some concepts of projects, and we are definitely very happy to look at the internships as well. And but in the courses, we have built up some of the practical learning, the projects, and we have tried to keep those projects close to the business reality. It's not that from internet you pick up a US data or US traffic data or something which a lot of people lot of students do that without any context. So you have to have data from your own country and industry which you are a consumer of. So unless you have that uh, real life kind of industry data, of course we can't share clients data, but we synthesize in a fashion that the learning is almost real.
So I'll add to that, Ruby. So the answer in plain black and white terms is yes and no, both. Yes, the internships would be there, but you have to be worthy of it. So you, during the course, the project that you're doing, the work that you're doing will transfer. The courses that are specific to this program of data science and data engineering, besides the core CSCIT's courses, you need to perform well. Because if you're performing well, if you're doing these projects enthusiastically, then you are putting up your case towards the company that yes, I am the one. If you want to give an option, I should be the one. So if you're performing well, yes, there would be opportunities for a few of the topper students for that. But if you are a regular student moving in a regular manner, then obviously there would be other companies also which will come in for internship. But for being in Transcorp, because it's a company which sets a benchmark in the domain of data science, so you need to be at least, I would say, at least touching that benchmark. If you're touching that benchmark, you have a very high chances of getting an internship. If not, then it's a straight no.
I completely agree with you, sir. So we'll take up another question as we were discussing about the tools. So there's another question from Shivanshu Mandal. He wants to know what are the latest programming languages which are useful to the students.
Okay.
Shivanshu, I've already answered that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Please go ahead. Go ahead, Professor Anand. You wanted to say something. Please go ahead.
Okay. So being very honest, Shivanshu, if you looked at that graph which Naveen sir shared, and that was the graph which does not only stands for, I would say, data science, but most of the technologies in CSE. Problem solving, critical thinking are the key things which are there irrespective of the technology in CSIT that you're choosing. So programming languages, it's more of syntax. The latest one going on is Golang. But again, to switch into Golang right now will not give you any benefit, because you need to understand first the logic, the problem solving, the object oriented programming concepts. If you understand them, then move on to syntax of any programming language you want to, be it C++, be it Golang, be it Python, anyone you want to. The idea is to understand that problem solving approach, how to implement a logic. Once that is done, syntax is a tool. So you need to focus on those problem solving approaches, those critical thinking, those logic building. If you're good at that, you can learn programming language easily. My, if you ask me, suggestion would be start with the basics of C++, go through Python, and then for the latest programming languages such as Golang.
Thank you so much, sir. So, there is another student, Nitin. He wants to know that where did we get placements and what are the opportunities are there in future if we opt this course at LPU.
Okay. So you would start and I will add to you, or I should start and you will add to me.
Yeah. No, I can start. See, as I said, industry is really struggling with this talent of data science. In fact, we have been recruiting as a company from engineering colleges. Even we have started to look at non-engineering colleges. We have to put in a lot of time and effort in training students. They're good, very intelligent. They come with good problem-solving skills. But unfortunately, in some of the programs, general programs, they don't have the exposure to the real industry problems and challenges. So this course has been designed keeping industry needs in mind. So the opportunities are huge. Frankly speaking, we interview 20, 30 people and then we select one person. Such is the ratio of interviews to actual selection. So, I mean, you read anywhere in the newspaper, data scientists, data engineers are not available at all. There's a war for talent. And if you sign up for this program and if you have interest in this area, this field is going to outshine any other field in the coming future. Yeah, Professor Anand, feel free to add.
Okay, thank you. So as I said at the very start when I was introducing the topic that is there today, the lifeline of a particular technology. So data is going to be there throughout the technology changes and everything. Data is going to be there. How it is going to be used is what the people have to decide who are in the domain of data science. and what purpose it would serve, and how that data would be more valuable, more I would say calculative and concise to giving out an output. That is where you need to work, and data is never going to end. So the technology area is never going to end. Tools, techniques might come up, you will develop them, you will develop new technologies for that. So there's a huge scope in this arena, because as I said also in the start, that it is growing. So when a particular field grows, freshers have a very good opportunity to move in. Once there is an established technology where a lot of resources are available, obviously people would move for experienced ones. Technology getting at the very start of it, very brink of falling into the key areas which is there for every corporate. That's where when freshers move in, they have the tactical advantage over the predefined established arenas such as programming, software development. All these are predefined arenas. Already a lot of thing has been done. Most of it is conquered. So you would have very few or a very little scope of progress. Whereas in data science, because it is growing, you have a very huge scope to grow with it. So with that, there are a lot of opportunities. Every year we do a lot of drives for data science students, data engineering students, and yet we have to say sorry to the companies because less number of students doing into this domain. All of them are placed. Sorry, we can't host more drives in this domain. So that is the scenario which most of the campuses in India are facing, and that's the same with us. So in this domain, you will have opportunities. Just you would have to be a bit upbeat with that technology, and it's very, very beautiful career that you have ahead of you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. So, so there are similar questions are there. So I would like Naveen sir to throw some light on this. So I'll complete all these questions in one. That what are the major takeaways of BTech on a CSC with Transorg over regular BTech CSC?
I think Professor Anand can answer it better.
It's more in my domain, Ruby. I'll take it. So as I said in the very start, that you would be starting specialized courses from data science and data engineering domain into this program. A normal BTech CSC program will have the basics of CSIT and a choice of a few of the specialization that you can go through at a very, very basic level. That is at the very entry level. Okay. But when you talk about a specialized program, obviously the details, the content would be in depth into that area, because you need to be projected as someone who could be, I would say, encapsulated or who can be directly consumed by companies like Transorg and other companies who work in the data science and data engineering domain. So you would have specialized courses. The people who would be delivering these courses would be the experts from Transorg Analytics who have been working in this domain area, who have the specialization in this domain area. Plus the content. Again, why I'm emphasizing on the content is what you will get is real life case studies from what happened into a particular problem statement which the Transorg Analytics took up. How did this solve it? Obviously, as sir said, you will not be getting exact live data, exact things, but they would be masked. But you will understand the gist. You will understand how and those things are solved. So the content is a major part, because it will be directly coming from Transorg real examples which they have experienced and which is something that happens in real life. So you will be able to understand what actually happens in a company rather than a small project which never will be used into the company. So that's one major differentiating factor that is there. Plus, in the difference, I would like to clarify this: the normal BTech CSC in data science, core concepts of CSC shall remain same, because for even working with data science, you need to understand operating systems, you need to understand the basics of networking, you need to have a basic understanding of SQL databases. So all those basic concepts of CSC will remain same, but after that concepts of 60-70%, the basic concept, the remaining 30% would be data science and data engineering, which in that particular program will not be there. It would be an overall view of a CSC domain that you will get, and here you get a specialization. So you have best of both worlds. You are a CSC engineer who can go for any other role for a CSC engineer as they are going, and you can go for roles in data science and data engineering, which will not be possible for any student who is taking a data science pure simple course. So you have options of two particular domains with you, whereas in a normal degree you have one option that is there. So these are the major differences that are there in the program.
Thank you so much, sir. So now there are a few queries related to admission. So, no, so there is another question. from Nitin. He wants to know that I know it's not a part of your. Okay. All right. So, sir, I'm so sorry for this. So, sir, we have few questions related to admission part now. So, I'll move on to our admission expert. So, thank you so much, Naveen, sir. Thank you so much, Professor Sami Anand, sir, for resolving the queries of our attendees. And yes, I would request Mr. Chirag, Dr. Chirag, our admission expert, to kindly take over from this and resolve the queries of our attendees. So, over to you, Dr. Chirag, for the admission part of the university.
Chirag, you're not audible.
Yeah. You are not
audible. Yeah, you're audible now.
Okay, so firstly I'll explain regarding the infrastructure part as well as various opportunities which are provided to the students in the campus. So as you can see in the slide, we have 13 LP students who have represented India in Tokyo Olympics 2020, which was held last year and had won gold medal as well as bronze medal in different categories. So if I talk about the rankings of university, LPU has been ranked among 36th among top universities of India as per the World University Rankings as per Time Higher Education ranking as well. So if I talk about the campus life and exposure that we are offering to the students, so we were the only private university who has conducted 106th Indian Science Congress, which was inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi sir from 3rd of January to 7th of January 2019. So this was the biggest prime event that we actually conducted in our campus. Apart from that, we have been we were able to conduct various convocations, which was inaugurated by various eminent personalities and presidents of Afghanistan as well as India. It was conducted in 2013, 17, and 19 as well. So we had various eminent personalities who have visited our campus, have inaugurated our LPU startup school like Shri Arun Jaitley sir, and we had various life skills lessons which are taught to faculties as well as students also. So moving from real life heroes to real life heroes, so we had a visit of Shah Rukh Khan sir along with Mahendra Singh Dhoni sir for promotion of their respective movies. Along with that, if I talk about the infrastructure, there is one big amphitheater which is known as open auditorium. You can see in this slide, it's a very huge auditorium, open auditorium, not only for conducting events but various discussion related activities, and it is entirely connected with various academic blocks along with the library also. So this is one huge open auditorium that we have. We have the indoor auditorium, which is known as Shantidev Mittal Auditorium. We around 2,000 plus people who can sit in this AC-filled auditorium. So we have Academic Resource Center, which is known as Uni Mall, which is also connected with Uni Hotel. So here you can easily get all the necessities of your daily life. Along with that, various sports are also encouraged in this uni center, along with various stores also. Like you can see various stores are there where you can purchase your daily necessity parts, and along with that, we have a very big central library, which is 4-story building and has access of 1 lakh books across all the disciplines of the universities, not only engineering but also various science subjects along with management subject. You can easily get all the books available in the university, and in our uni center we have the facility of bowling along with gym facility as well. So apart from that, we have various access of various labs also. And if I talk about the infrastructure part, the biggest infrastructure that we are providing to the university is Uni Hospital, because in this time of pandemic, it's very important to have those kind of facilities with you on any urgent need. So, and one of the biggest infrastructure point of view, if I have to explain, is our indoor stadium that has the access of various sports Like we have been scoring very good in Olympics. Along with that, we were second prize holders in Khelo India Games in 2022, which was held this year only. So because of the indoor facilities that we provide to the student, indoor sports facilities that provides the access of swimming, along with badminton, shooting, squash stadium, along with that various basketball and volleyball games. So this is the view of our campus from outside, and along with that, this is a night view of our respective campus, the 600-acre plus campus that we have in the campus that we have. So the important facilities that we provide to the students, apart from the academics, is the residential facility, which is a very secure. Firstly, it's a very secure campus. You cannot directly enter to the university without turnstile on. So you have to have that identification done before you enter to the university. It's a ragging-free university. So we provide access to 1-seater, 2-seater, 3-seater, 4-seater AC and air-cooled rooms for boys as well as girls, and we have 6 girls hostel along with 8 boys hostel, providing different food facility options such as standard South Indian and North Indian mess. So I'm moving towards the eligibility of the course, which were actually which Sami sir and sir have actually explained. So firstly, I need you to tell you where you have to actually log in. So you can see in my website, I have actually logged into next.lpu.in. So the moment you select this particular link, you will be directed to various courses that our university offers. One of them is definitely engineering course, which we talked about earlier. So we have to, as a user, you need to click on BTech option because you are going to do the BTech option in this part. Now, engineering has been ranked amongst the 66 in India by NIRF ranking this year that has been actually given to us. So the important thing is that there are 2 types of courses. One is normal BTech CSE course, and one is the course that we talked about is the specialized course with data science and data engineering. So over here you can easily select, you can easily search with data. You can get this course, BTech CSE Data Science and Data Engineering tie-up with Transform Analytics. So if I open this particular course, so firstly, we need to understand how you will be doing this particular course. For that, you need to be eligible first. So we have various details. Let me tell you about the eligibility criteria. For eligibility for to take admission in this particular course, you have to get 70% aggregate marks in 10+2 with physics, mathematics and English are the compulsory subjects that you need to pass in or equivalent. But you need to qualify our LPU Nest examination. LPU Nest is National Eligibility and Scholarship Test, which is not only for eligibility part, it is for scholarship part as well. So firstly, you need to get 70% aggregate marks in 10+2 plus LPU Nest that you need to qualify. It means you have to apply for this particular course. So how you are going to apply, what are the important dates? Let me just firstly discuss important dates with you. The online registration for LPU Nest has started from 26th of June, and last day to submit LPU Nest examination is today only. So kindly apply for LPU Nest because you will be eligible only if you qualify this particular test. So slot booking for this particular examination has started from 26th May and date of examination. So let's say if you apply for 20th June, so you can select certain dates that will come up as soon as you are going to log in. So again, after that, your test can be given till 25th of June and the result will be out in the next particular date. And you have to take admission. The moment you qualify this test, you have to take admission within 7 days of a declaration of result. So this is first thing. This is the eligibility part. I have discussed the important dates also. So how you have to apply. Clearly, there are certain options that are given to you. Firstly, you have to sign up for this particular course over here. Directly you can sign up. After that, you have to apply for LPU Nest eligibility and scholarship test, and then you have to book the examination slot, and then next day you will get your result. So if I talk about the scholarship part, so scholarship we are providing not only on the basis of your qualifying exam, which is 12th, it is on the basis of your LPU Nest examination as well. So, or if you are scoring very good marks in JEE mains, you can get the scholarship on the basis of that. So it is or in all the cases. So if I talk about the percentage in qualifying exam, so criteria for that is that you must get 95% or aggregate marks in +2. You will get the scholarship of 38%. So actually, if I talk about the fees of this particular course, the fees of this particular course is 1,90,000 every semester. So again, 1,90,000 every semester you have to pay, or you can get the scholarship of if you are getting 95% or above in +2. So your 38% of the fees will be reduced, and your fees will be reduced to 1,17,800 rupees. So again, it's not you have to pay 1,90,000. So you will be paying 1,17,800. It means 72,200 rupees will be reduced from account. So this is a 4-year course. So it means 8 semesters, and 8 semesters again you will save 72,200. If I multiply with 8, so certain amount you will be saving, or you have a scholarship based on your percentage with 90 to 94.99% in +2, or you stay in category 2 cutoff of LPU nest, or you have a very good JEE means percentile score of 90, more than 90 but less than 95 percentile. So you will have the scholarship of 53,200 every semester. Your fee will be reduced to 1,36,800 rupees. Or if you have LPNS score which is more than or equal to category 3 cutoff, so your at category 3, or you score 80 to 89.9% in +2 examination, or JEE means marks more than 85 but less than 90. So these are or options. So you will save 34,200 every semester of your fee. So again, I would say that apply right now. Today is the last date. Don't waste your opportunity. You're getting very good scholarship also, and this course is obviously very nice in terms of if I talk about the future prospects in computer science and engineering. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chirag, for the detailed information about the admission part. But there is a query. We have an attendee, Nitin. He's eagerly wants to join the program, but he's curious to know that he has 57% marks in 12th. So is he eligible to join the program? Can you resolve the query, sir?
Can you repeat regarding how much he has got?
57%.
No, unfortunately, the eligibility criteria I've already explained is 70% minimum marks you have to get to enroll in this particular program. Unfortunately, he can apply for the other BSc computer science programs, but not this program, unfortunately.
Sir, can you suggest him any other options apart from BTech? Yes, please, sir. He eagerly want to join our university.
Actually, the eligibility criteria for computer science engineering, for especially this course, is 70% or plus. So this course he cannot do, but other BSc computer science courses I can BSc computer science course. Let me just figure out whether he can do or not. Just a minute.
In the meanwhile, attendees, you have heard our mentorship. So I'll advise you that good things come to people who wait, but better things come to those who go out and get them. So don't just sit back and relax. Grab the opportunity to take admission in your preferred program and get better scholarship opportunities. So don't miss the chance to appear in a LPU nest. So book your seats right now. Visit our website and do all the related activities to get yourself enrolled in the program.
Okay. So again, the eligibility criteria is 60% or aggregate marks in +2. Again, if the student is not eligible in BSc Computer Science Honors Program, so kindly just ask the student whether, because we are providing 5% relaxation to Northeast states, Sikkim candidates along with defense, or the Kashmiri migrant people also. So if the student is belonging to these categories, so he can be eligible, but he has to qualify LPU Nest examination with 60% of aggregate marks in +2. Again, 5% relaxation if it belongs to Northeast, defense, or Kashmiri migrant. Yeah. So I have suggested an alternative course for this.
Thank you so much, sir. So Nitin, I believe your query has been resolved now. So is there any kind of doubt or any kind of...
And I just want to add one thing. So he can also do a BTech Computer Science Engineering course, but again, with 60% aggregate marks, he has to qualify LPU Nest examination, or 5% relaxation is belonging to those. If he is not, so unfortunately, he won't be eligible to take admission.
Thank you so much, sir. So with this, we conclude our today's webinar, which was on the topic Demystifying Data Science Careers. So experts, thank you so much for your years of research and your understanding of the topic and your ability to present the topic in such a wonderful way, produce one of the most interesting mornings for all the attendees. So on behalf of all the attendees of this webinar, I would like to thank you for your insightful presentation. Hopefully, the attendees found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information provided in this webinar to get better decisions regarding admission. And attendees, thank you so much. I enjoyed bringing this session to you, and I believe you enjoyed listening to it as much. So until next time, I, Rubigil, sign off. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Naveen sir. Thank you, Chirag.
Thank you. Thank you.